morning. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. Just checking settings. There it is. And we're live. Yeah, can you believe it? I mean, I know we always say this, it shouldn't come as a surprise. This happens every year at the same time, but it's here. The holidays are here. Woohoo! Yeah. All right. Turn my phone off. I think I'm ready. I just finally put the last little touches on my card that we're going to do today. But before we get into the card, I wanted to share. Excuse me. I had to, of course, get a cold here right before the holidays, so that I will be having to stop every 3 minutes for a Kleenex. But as I said, you know, I think I'm over the hump here. And I don't think it was anything worse than a head cold, because I was a good girl and, you know, I've had all my shots, and, you know, it's not like I went to the vets last week, but yeah, sneezing and sniffles. So we're good to go. So, you know, that last week, no, the week before, was Stampin' Up's virtual on stage, and we got to, what did I do with those cards? I shared them on Friday. The cards that we made during on stage. I'll have to see if I can find them real quick. Anywho, so I got my pre-order in, and I got the items, and I wanted to share with you what I got so far. So, I have no idea where I put those cards. Oh, right behind my head. Oh, God. Yep, they're here. Okay, so at our virtual on stage, this was one of the new sets that we got to do with some of the Stampin' Up creators. And this little note card. So we did, you know, as a demonstrator, we were able to, in this one, this paper is really, really pretty. So as a demonstrator, we were able to pre-order a stamp set for on stage. And that was our Blessings of Home. And that's what those cards were made with. So this little stamp right here, I think, is going to come in real handy. Along with a lot of the little greetings on here as well. This has a coordinating die set. Flowers of Home. So those were my first cards out of the 2022 release. So then I got my pre-order in, and in January also we will have our winter celebration from January 4th through the 28th of February. And so when you order $50 worth of products, you can get free items. Or when you order $100, you can get two of the $50 features or one of the $100 features. There's some special things. I can't show you the insides yet because none of this stuff is available until January to our customers, and then we'll open up the book and share. But I can share the items that I got and the items that I make, and because I just got them, I have not had time to make them. I didn't want to put something together real quick just to use the products. I want to look at them and make something, you know, unique. We got our new Join Stampin' Up brochure. If you've thought about joining Stampin' Up, even excuse me, just for the discounts and benefits and extra free products that you can earn, this month until the end of November would be a wonderful time to do that. The normal, already reasonable price of $99 has been reduced to $75 through November. And when you join Stampin' Up, you get $125 worth of free items. And so you could potentially get some of this stuff here if you join now. And so November 30th, that offer goes back to $99. I would love to have you be a part of my Stampin' Up team. So if you're interested or you've considered it, well, let me know. I'm right there. I will be more than happy to work with you to pick out, to go shopping for $125 worth of stamping products. Yeah, that'd be fun. So here's one set that this actually was a gift to us. This and this really cool ribbon. Basic white. This is sort of a ribbed, it's frayed, very cute ribbon. Am I lying already? No, I think it was this, and look at these brushed brass butterflies. So these were our gifts from Stampin' Up for attending on stage. So this silhouette stuff is really very cool. And you know what? I like doing unique backgrounds, like with brushos and alcohol inks. And I've been wanting to get my jelly plate back out. And this just might come in handy with those. So we'll see what comes out of that. And then my very first suite that I wanted to get was the Honeybee Home. I was really excited to see. I don't know why. I love flowers. I think the little honeybees are adorable. They go with, they actually coordinate with our Blessings of Home. So this is all going to be available as a suite or individually. There is a new embossing folder that is like a honeybee hive, like the honeycomb. I'm anxious to try that. And then the Honeybee Blooms dies. Let's see what's in there. I didn't even open it yet. That's how new this stuff is. Whipped it out and stacked it up here. Of course, I'm still trying to get ready for our Christmas market at the Grace Chapel Church here next Saturday. So I have cards that I need to get packaged up this week. I'm out of envelopes. I gotta run out and get envelopes. I can't believe I don't have enough. So we have dies that coordinate with the stamps. And then I already see some extras. Here's some leaves that you'd be able to die cut out of. Maybe some pretty vellum or something and add to the back of the flowers. That would be pretty. That one's going to go with that. That, probably with that. So, no, this is with this. So these two are more than likely extras. I love when they give you extra dies and you can create with your own paper or with some designer series paper, which we'll pull out in a minute here. And then my first celebration item was awesome otters. Aren't they cute? And I'm finding out from my workshops that everybody likes the critters. Doesn't matter what the critter is, those are their favorite cards to make. And Friendly Hello. Isn't that bird adorable? You have my love and support. Hope you have the best birthday. I see some two-step stamps here. So we'll have some fun with that. Okay. Oh, I don't have room for all this. I need to sell some of the ones that I don't use so much anymore. All right. Now, let's see. Actually, Whimsy and Wonder. I think this is just extra paper that I got for my one Christmas workshop that's coming up. I needed some more papers. That's not the new stuff. So this was part of the Heart and Home. When I showed you with the honeybees and the blessings of home. And these were the paper that we used on our cards during celebration. So beautiful, beautiful paper. Just in time for spring. Fresh freesia. I really like this flowery paper. I really do. And then some nice just wood grain type backgrounds. Isn't this pretty? This reminds me of the boho indigo paper, which was one of my all-time favorites. Nice. And then there's some honeybee paper, some cinnamon cider color in that. Yep, that's going to be fun. I need to get through this because our card today needs our attention. And this was Daffodil Afternoon. And I'm thinking, did I get this one in celebration? I really can't remember. And that's my extra packs of them. Friendly Hello. This went with the little birdie hello set. Told you I didn't get to open any of this stuff yet. And we have some black and white matte dots. Is that out of this? Yes, it is. And with the honeybees, there are some new doily colors in cinnamon cider, misty moonlight, and I can't remember. I don't remember what the other color was. Oh, the gray. Is that gray granite or smoky slate? I don't remember. So those are handy dandy for our new stamp sets. And then we'll look at this paper quickly and get into our card today. Oh, there's a little birdie right on there. I didn't notice him at first. He's cute. Oh, there he is again. That's pretty. Couple sheets of each one. Two-sided. More fresh freesia. That's pretty with the black stamped flowers over the background. That's nice. And I would say pale papaya with the white stamp on the background. Some pretty little swirlies. And what are we saying? Granny apple green, you think? Pretty, pretty. Oh, that's nice. That'll come in handy too. Okay, so that's our hello paper. Nice. And that's okay if you're not getting really to see the paper quickly here, or I mean easily, because if you have already shopped with me this year, or you've been a part of my workshops and stuff, and I have your mailing address, I will make sure that you get your catalog at the first of the year. Oh, I gotta go, excuse me, and do my mailing selector too. Now, if you haven't shopped with me, you're in this past year, your name isn't on my mailing selection anymore, and you'll have to get in touch with me if you want one of those. I'm not buying a lot of extra catalogs this year. I have too many left over, and I don't want to waste the money. So, daffodils and daisies. Oh, how cute is that? Oh, this is just screaming Easter, isn't it? Oh, these are nice. We saw this several times. We just did some of this with our peaceful place paper, where you can cut these down and just use this as a card front. Maybe add an accent die cut flower or something. Oh, that's cute. More daffodils. Oh, that's pretty. I like that one. And that one too. So what did we have before? Tulips. We had tulips for the one on stage that I did go to. We had a tulip builder punch, and I still have that stamp set. Might have to add it to some of this paper here. All right. So that's some of the pretty papers and stamps coming up. Here is the November shopping code for a couple more days. I'll have to switch it over because these do only last demonstrators for 30 days, and then we have to go in and make a new one. So my 30 days is almost up on this one. But if you order, within the next couple days, this is what you'll use. And when you shop with me and spend $50 or more, you will receive the red braided trim. And when you spend $100 or more, you're going to get the red braided trim and some genial gems. So make sure to use the shopping code at bohostamper.com when you are shopping on my Stampin' Up! Online store. Alrighty, sales pitch is done. My invitation for you to join me in Stampin' Up! Is still extended. Always. I love working with people. I love sharing stamping. So here's my card today. And I will tell you how this came about. And I left this open so that, we had a little extra room. Is that crooked? No, I guess not. Looks crooked. So you have a little room to write a note or sign it or whatever. You could sign it here because you're not really going to see that when it's closed up. So what brought this card about was I was checking my YouTube videos, and for some reason my Sweet Little Stockings video has had over 800 views. I don't have that many likes, and but I do appreciate those folks who do like, share, comment, give a thumbs up or a heart or whatever, because you really help make a difference to people who are doing these videos. Okay. So anyways, when I checked out my Sweet Little Stockings video to see what it was, I was thinking, I don't know why it's got so many views unless people can't find a lot of videos with the puppy and kitty set. I don't know. Or maybe they thought it was going to be something else with Sweet Little Stockings and they went to the wrong place. Not sure. But anyways, I've never tried to send these cards out or anything because they don't fit in the envelope quite right. Now I have a couple extra, and I can make an envelope for them. That's not a problem. But it's smaller than our regular 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch, which is, I believe, A2 envelopes. And I'm thinking, and I've done this before, when I've watched other demonstrators share their designs, if they're in the UK or something, their paper is cut a little different than ours. And sometimes the dimensions don't work out quite right. So, I thought I'm going to revisit my Sweet Little Stockings card and make one that's going to fit in the envelope. Well, you know how you get going down a rabbit hole then, and I ended up, instead of just doing one opening, I made a 2 opening card. And so really, this is, I would like to say it's inspired by somebody, but it's really inspired by my own card. I just had to try something different. And so I actually saw this idea on a couple of different demonstrator sites. One of them led back to a video by Dawn Griffith, who is one of the top demonstrators in the United States. And so I went to Dawn's site and I watched her make this card and worked my measurements out from her video. So I'm very grateful that she did share that because this does fit in our regular size card envelopes. So I can use those now. I don't know if I would have used, this was my last thing I was doing before I came on here, was adding my greeting. I don't know if I would necessarily make my greeting like that on the front. I guess it's okay. God only knows why I chose to do my inside in cherry cobbler and my outside in black, but it worked. This is going to seem like a lot of tedious cutting and stuff, but there's a reason for it that I figured out. And there is a lot of measuring and cutting today. It's not a hard card. There's just a lot of measuring. And you can write down these measurements as you go along. I'm a visual person. I have to do it to understand how to make something. Okay? So these are my notes. Please feel free to write down your notes any way you like. I'm not going to write up dimensions because I think that unless you actually watch somebody make the card, the dimensions are going to be very hard to follow. So, in essence, what we're going to do is make a card base that's going to fold like our little zigzag card there. And then we're going to make 2 frames. And this is, when I was watching, I was like, why is she measuring and cutting this out? Why don't she just cut strips of paper and glue it on there, right? Well, there's several reasons. Because first of all, this made the perfect borders. When we cut this apart, I wouldn't have to go back in and worry about trimming down the borders on each of my papers, because when we make these mats, those borders are already going to be there. And most importantly, because when I was going to make that card yesterday, I grabbed out this designer series paper from the package, and I was thinking, I don't want to use that one because, you know, being all burger brain and stuff, I probably would put half of the card with my green curlicues going down, and the other half would probably end up with my green curlicues going up. Well, when I started doing this, I realized this is why she did these cuts the way she did, because when you're using a directional pattern, it isn't going to matter. If you follow this along, your directional pattern will come out just right for the front of your card. And I imagine you could mess it up on your 2 centerpieces here by turning one upside down or the other, but because we're cutting it in one piece, they'll all be going in the same direction. So don't get discouraged with the measurements. And the only thing I have done so far, because we're going to go through this step by step. I've only made this card one time, so, you know, fingers crossed and say a little prayer that it comes out right the second time. It did it the first time. I was pretty impressed. And then in advance, I took my sweet little Stockings stamps, and I just I stamped a bunch of images in Memento, Tuxedo Black ink. Took my blends, excuse me, and when we were watching TV then last night, I colored in all my little puppies and kitties and stockings and everything that I had stamped, presents. I took down some gold and silver pens and added some little dots and stuff to those. And I did stamp these on the shimmery white cardstock. I don't know if you can see the little bit of shimmer that comes in that paper, but for the holidays I like using shimmery white. I did a few candy canes, and then I was really afraid that I messed up, because on my Santa hats I like to add, not the shimmer spray, grabbed the wrong one, the crystal effects, which makes sort of like a glaze. I like to add that to the band of my hat and on where his little pom-pom would be. And then this morning I was thinking, oh no, when I die cut that, it's going to flatten it out. Well, it really didn't. But if I were to do it again en masse, like I did, I would cut them and then add my crystal effects. But I wanted these to be all dry for today and not have to worry about it. And then went back through with some Wink of Stella and added some little sparkle on some of the stockings and on the gifts, because who doesn't like Wink of Stella? Okay, so that stuff was all cut out ahead of time, or all colored ahead of time. I did cut out a puppy and a kitty, because I know I'm going to use that. A puppy Santa hat. Where's my kitty cat? Oh, there it is. And the kitty cat, I would have had her, and I don't know why I always call her her. I would have had her holly leaves and little berries cut out today, but when I was doing it, I dropped the holly die on the floor, which is only this big. And yes, I did just find it before we started, so I don't have her holly and berries cut out yet. So my little embellishments are pretty much ready to go so that we can spend our time putting the card together. And I apologize now for the coughing. So our first, let's turn this over to get rid of my writing. I'm using a cherry cobbler base, and this is a 10.5 inch by 5.5 inch rectangle. Let me lay my papers out here so I can make sure I say this right. Okay, 10.5 by 5.5. And I just cut these ahead of time because I'm pretty much out of room here. Then my next layer, seems weird using black, but it does help that designer series paper, I think, stand out a little bit nicer against the red. Use whatever colors you like, whatever papers you like. Doesn't even have to be a Christmas card. So this one is cut at 10.25 by 5.25, right? So we've cut down 1/4 of an inch. And then guess what? We're going to cut down another 1/4 of an inch. This is just 10 by 5. And you can see how these all layer up perfect, right? Now comes the hard part. And what we are, as I said, essentially doing is making a frame. We're going to make a frame on the designer series paper. We're going to make a frame on the black. And it's going to fit on our card base perfect. You can mark this by pencil first if you like, which I sometimes find helpful because I don't always follow my own instructions very well. Even though I write them all down, I don't always follow my own messages here. And so we are going to make a 1.25 inch card base on the top and a 1.25 inch bottom. Okay, that's this part and this part. This long strip that we're cutting will be the same on both sides, the same length. So we're coming in, and this is going to be really hard to see, 1.25 inches for my first side, and I folded over top of my my numbers here, 1.75 inch. Okay, so we're going to start at 1.75 inches on the ruler. And cut down to 8.75. And yes, I am double checking before I say these things. 8.75, and let's hope that I am in camera. 8, and oh, she can almost see, almost. Oh, good, it didn't flipper. 8 and oh my gosh. See, I can't see in this light, and I went to 9.75. All right, already. Yeah. Darn it. Cherry cobbler. Oh well. I should have probably done it with pencil first. That's okay. I'll use that one on a different card. 10.5 by 5.5. See, and this is why I was trying to get this cut for us ahead of time, because I've almost not got enough room to 10.5. Open up the arm of my cutter, my trimmer, by 5.5. All right, let's try this again. Maybe if I stand over it. I don't know. I'm having a hard time seeing. we're going to come back in at 1¼ inches, 1¼ and start at, I am going to mark it, I can't see the numbers on that ruler. Is it just me? Oh Lord. Alright, this is better, I can see that. 1¾ to 8¾ 8¾ and I know we're going to do it over here also, so 1¾ 8¾ and I did mark my first one that I was doing, I did mark it with pencil and then I have eraser marks all over the place. Alright, let's see if that makes it any easier to see. 1¼ inches. Oh, kinda. 8¾ Oh, I do see my pencil mark, so I know to stop this time. And then we're going to flip the card around and do the exact same thing. Come in at 1¼ inches. Start at the 1¾ inch mark. And come down to 8, and this is the one I keep losing in my light. 8¾ Yay! Stop. Okay, now we'll cut this center out. No, I lied. I lied. I forgot we're on the base. We're not making our frames yet. Okay. Now we're going to score. So, we're going to move our card base over to 1¾ and we're going to score between our two cut lines. So at 1¾ we should be at the edges of our cuts. So starting at 1¼ which is, remember how far we came in there to make our line, down to 4¼ right? Am I saying that right? Well, I guess we don't have a measurement. We're just going to score between these cut marks. Okay. And then we're going to move over to 3½ inches. 3½. And we're going to score the whole card. And then we'll move over to 7 inches. Oh, I do have to open this up anyways. I was trying to avoid that. Slide our card base over to 7 inches. And we're going to score the whole card again. And then we'll move over to 8¾ 8¾ and again we're going to score between those two cut marks. Okay. And so our first fold is going to be a mountain fold. The inside of this one will be a valley, and you can see the paper's trying to do its own thing there. So we have a mountain on these two edges and a valley in the middle. And then we have a mountain in the middle. And these two will be valleys on the outside. So basically we're folding them in the opposite direction of each other. This one's coming up, these are going back. And this one will be a valley. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And then these two are opposite of the insides. Get this creased over. It worked! wonderful start. Well, a second start, huh? Not that first one, but that's because I can't see. But I do have new glasses coming, so hopefully that's going to help with some of this glaring and light. All right, so first, I want to erase my pencil marks there because I don't really want them to be on my card. And then we're going to use a bone folder and crease each one of these so that our card will stand up nicely. Isn't that amazing? Remember, it's just paper. Just paper. We can make it do things that we want it to do. I like doing fun little cards. Now again, this is probably not one that you're going to, I don't know, maybe you will. Maybe you enjoy doing them too, and you will mass produce a lot of these. I don't know. I know my my family Christmas cards, I usually, see, I got a little line in there. I did that before too. Oh, I think it's when I did the bone folder. I made a crease on that. That's weird. Because I was thinking of my first one. How did that get there? It wasn't there at the beginning. And there's your stand-up card. Cool beans, right? Right. So anyways, my family, my Christmas cards that I send out to my family and my Christmas card recipients, I don't usually use one that I've videoed because I like to send them something unique that they haven't already maybe watched me make. So today, that's hopefully we'll be designing that, and then we are going to do some I'm going to do some mass card making along with cleaning my house. Oh, what a week. All right. So this one now, this is the one we're basically making a frame. I taped this back on here so that I had all my dimensions. Okay. And this is 1 inch on the top, a 1 inch border on the bottom. And these ones are 1.5 inches on the side. And hopefully, I don't have a white, I don't have chalk or anything over here. And I don't want to use my gel pen because I will not be able to get it off. All right, so we're going to move into, and this is the 10 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of paper. So this is the mat that will be underneath my designer series paper. And we're coming in from the side to 1 inch. So I'll move over there to the 1 inch mark. And we're going to start cutting from 1.5 to 8 3/4. 1.5. Got it. To 8, and this is where I cannot see, and 3/4 and stop. Okay. Turn it over and do the same thing. Come into 1 inch. Line up from 1.5. 1.5 to 8 3/4 again. Okay. Well, this looks pretty close, so I guess I found my 8 3/4. Now we're going to turn it along the 10 1/4 inch side, the long side. Excuse me. And we'll come in 1.5 inches. 1.5. And we're going to cut out from our top cut line to the bottom cut line. And so that's 1 inch to, did I even write that down? Or did I just finally give up? Is that, I don't know. I don't know. I think I was starting to get confused. Like, why is she cutting stuff like this? This is so weird. So 1 inch There it is. 4 and I guess it'd be 4 1/4. And turn it over to the other short side. Come in 1.5 inches, 1.5, and we'll start cutting again from our 1 inch mark. Down to 4 1/4, or until you can feel it hit the cut line. And sometimes you can actually feel the blade just get to that little slice, and you know to stop. And then if you have any little spots here that didn't quite catch the corner right, just use your paper snips. You know, rather than pulling the paper, it really is better to cut it, even if it's just a teeny tiny bit, because, there you go, when you pull it, you could just tear some of the layers of paper apart. Keep this and set it aside, and we'll use that when we go to make our inside panels. Okay. And now we have a frame. Okay, now don't freak out. I'm going to take the frame and we're going to move over to 3 1/4 inches, 3 1/4 inches. Hold this down firmly and cut it. Ah, yeah, how about that? Cut it. Okay. Move these two pieces over to 3 1/4 inches. Hold that down firmly and cut them. Slide those two pieces over. Now, we're going to end up with a tiny little scrap paper, so then rather than try to cut that off, just flip your paper around. This makes it easier to hold on to. Go over to 3 1/4 inches and cut. These two pieces will be scrap. And turn this back around, and this is the other side of your card mat. Excuse me. All right, on to the third panel. Well, you'd be glad when this is done. But when it goes together, it's so easy, and it just makes so much sense then. So this is our 10 by 5. And for this one, we're going to come in 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to cut from the 1 1/4 inch mark down to 8 1/2. Okay. That's what the directions say. See, we're taking 1/4 inch off of everything we're doing. So come into 3/4 of an inch. Line the trimmer up at 1 1/4. 1 1/4. There. Make sure I haven't shifted that because it feels like I did. I did. 1 1/4 to 8 1/2. Oh, I can see on this. It's a miracle. 8 1/2 and lift. Turn our paper around. Bring it into 3/4 of an inch. 3/4. Start at 1 1/4. Cut down to 8 1/2. Okay. There's our two sides. Let's do our 5-inch sides, and these ones were coming in 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4. And when I go to, well, actually I do always copy my video over to YouTube. I'll try to find Dawn's video again and link it because she edits her videos and she will put these measurements up on the front of her screen, and you may find that much easier than the way I'm doing it. But this worked for me. Okay, and now we're going to cut from, I guess this would be 3/4 of an inch, right? Woo! I hit it. I almost cut too far. 1 1/4. 1 1/4. See, I was talking and I forgot what I was saying. 3/4 to 4 1/4. And again, basically we're cutting out from the top line to the bottom line. Turn it over and come in 1 1/4 inches and start at 3/4 of an inch. To 4 1/4. And again, just using snips. And finish catching those corners that didn't quite meet up perfectly. So afraid of cutting too far and cutting into my frame. Oh, I already cut. Okay. And we'll take that centerpiece out. And that can just be used for another card. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slice up our frame again. So now we're going to bring our frame into 3 inches. Hold it firmly. And cut. Bring these straight edges over to the 3-inch mark. Hold them firmly and cut. Flip my other side around, bring that solid edge over to the 3-inch line and cut. And then these two little pieces are scrap. Flip this one back around and there's our second frame's paper. Those over. All right. And, you know, we usually do a Christmas card on the 25th of every month if you've been following along with me, which should have you with a nice little stash of Christmas cards ready to go. But the 25th happens to be Thanksgiving this month, and so I will be having dinner with my family here, my kids, and hubby. And so I think I'm going to try and do a card on the 24th. If I can get one together by then. And so when we line these up, this is why cutting that frame made it so much easier. Because now we have an even border around each piece. Is that wild? It's perfect. Okay, I'm going to slide that across and I'm just going to do my centerpieces. So my background, I'll need a 2 3/4 inch mat. Only because I want to put my trimmer away here before I start gluing. By 3 1/4. So it was 3 1/4 inches across and 2 3/4 inches this way. That'll be in my center, and then I'm going to need room to lay all this over here for you to see it. Okay, so now I need these two sides here. Okay, and that will be 2 3/4 inches this way. Nope, yeah. 2 3/4. Oh, you know what? I can get them this way. 2 so. By 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. And there's my 2 sides. Then I need some basic white to be able to do my stamping and layer on the center. And then you'll be able to decorate this any way you want. If you want to put presents the whole way around it, or puppy heads the whole way around it, whatever you want to do. Yeah, make it fun. Did I have white here? Oh, I did. I think I used all my other smaller sheets. Oh no, I didn't. There's one. Good. I don't have to cut a whole sheet yet. Okay. So for my centerpiece, I will need a 2.5 by 3 inch rectangle. 3 inch. 2.5. That'll go on there. And then 2.5 by 1 1/4. So this is 2.5. I'm just trying to figure out if I can get both of these out of here. I think I can. 2.5. Yep. 1 1/4. 1. So these are very small panels to stamp on. 1 1/4. But this set actually has some smaller greeting stamps in it, so it's great. 1 1/4. Okay, that's it. Start gluing this baby together. My stamps out here, so I'm ready. And yeah, so you guys have family coming over for Thanksgiving, or do you go somewhere? We don't usually travel too much on the holidays. We kind of stay here, and hoping I get to go visit my mother-in-law. She lives very close, but she's 94 years old and has her good days and her bad days, so I'm really hoping that for Thanksgiving, oh really, I should have stamped on here first, that was sort of silly. I'm hoping that she's having a good day. I'd like to go see her. Good grief. And you could, if you're really not comfortable doing these frames, because it is a lot of measuring, it's a little intimidating, I guess, you could most certainly cut strips of paper and leave a border in between. You know, just cut this panel straight across, cut this one, and cut this one, cut this a little shorter, and maybe leave a black border in between there. I'm just using my sand eraser. I have a couple little paper nibbies that are hanging there, and get them off. You know, whatever you feel is easiest for you. But I really think making the frame, even though it's a lot of measuring, I think making this frame works great. Sometimes I like to do my quick and easy cards, but those are, I do those on Fridays a lot. So, as I've said before, what's the point in having all this stuff if we're not going to use it and enjoy it, right? So, some of them are a little bit more involved than others. I also was thinking about come the first of the year, because I have been working to try to do those little junk journals that I'm liking. I might start a January journal journey and maybe do a journaling YouTube series. It might be one of the only ways I actually get it done. And then I could share what I learn along the way. I'm just making sure that I have my green loops all going in the same direction here on these two panels, because as I said, that's where I still could make it go upside down. That one. And this side. I don't need that silicone mat. Oh, sorry. Dead space, right? Sorry. Ah! What are you doing? Don't you dare tear this. Not after everything we just did. Mm-mm. Am I out? Am I out? Really? Oh, there it is. I don't know what I did there. Alright. Yay! Look at that. I'm going to set these aside for a minute because I don't know what I'm stamping on those. Look at that! We did it! Another one. They do tend to stick in the middle a little bit there. I noticed that on my first one. I might go in with that sanding eraser and I don't know if that would make a difference or not. Nail file probably would work too. Oh, upside down. Yeah. Oh, I love it. This is just so cute. Okay. So, the only thing that you really want to focus on. So when I can put this on my panel like that. Keep your eye on when you add this to your centerpiece. Kind of watch where you can view this in the front of the card when it's first taken out of the envelope. So like I wanted to make sure that you could see the puppy and the kitty. But when you open it up, there's candy cane and some presents and little doodads. Okay? So just, like usual, I try to lay my design out oftentimes and kind of figure out where I'm going to put it before I glue it down. Because you might end up putting your kitty or your puppy in there, you know, putting it on the middle, and then when you close the front, you might only see the puppy ear or something, so that would look a little bit weird. I don't want to cut puppy's ear off. Alright, so I know I'm going to put a hat on my little cup. Get that. I can pick my stocking out for him. Oh, that's a pretty present. I think I'll use that one. Oh, that one's cute. Oh, that kind of goes with the present. Am I like in a mood here? Just add a little glue on the bottom of that and have him peeking out of the stocking. Ooh, stay there. Might fall. And, oh, I didn't get to do my holly leaves. That's right, because I dropped it. Because she needs a little bit of decoration in her fur. Trying to get stuff cut out for my Christmas card workshop. That's after Thanksgiving though, so. Oh gosh, I almost dropped that holly leaf again. Excuse me. That was not fun to find. Alright, extra piece of cherry cobbler and some teeny tiny holly berries. Come on. These things are pretty tiny. And my time is up. So you can hang with me if you like and see how we finish this card. Or you can go get started making one of those little zigzag cards. I don't know if that's the official name of it. It just looks like a zigzag to me. Don't forget to like and share the video if you liked it and you want to share. If you don't like it, forget it, right? Ignore what I said. Yeah. And then go try making one of these little cards, and you know, maybe not necessarily Christmas card if you don't feel like it, but I'd like to see how yours come out. If you feel like you want to, I don't think I'm going to use that stocking. That one was cut from the designer series paper. I would rather use one that I made. Let me see. How about I like that one. Oh my gosh, I have so many little pieces. There are so many dies with this set too. I mean, it's wonderful because you can cut out anything. You know what I mean? Lost my washi tape. If I lose that holly leaf under here, I might cry. And now normally what I would do would be cut all those pieces out that I colored, and I'll probably do that when I get done making this one, just because it'll be easier than, I want a candy cane for in here too. It'll just be easier when I go to make another one if I have all the little pieces ready. Oh. what else? I have a present. I have a candy cane. I have her stocking. Got her holly and her berries. I think we're good. Okay, maybe that's it. Until I get to the greetings. Oh, good, they're there. Come here, little kitty kitty. I can't pick this stuff up today. I don't know what's going on. Give her a little dab of glue right there. Stick down her holly leaf. I'll add a couple little berries. And add her to her stocking. Oh, kitty kitty pussycat. Yeah. And we had this week, if you remember, had the matte decorative dots. But I also had, these were all the trimmings embellishments. And I liked the little star on here. The reds don't match, but the stars, and even if I wanted to use some of the white dots, I could do that. But it didn't really stand out on my original card on that paper. So, where are the stamps? Oh, they're up there. Here. I really like that Peace, Joy, and Kisses. That one's going to have to go on there for sure. Again. Peace up. Peace, Joy, and Kisses. I think I will just stamp in black. I thought I had my Memento ink. I do. This is why I said I should have stamped it before I glued this on here, because if I get it too terribly crooked, it's just going to be how it's going to be. Hold your breath. Say a prayer. Yay! Let me see. This one, we can put this down because this is just going to have our die cuts on there, and I have to line up the kitty cat anyway. Just lining this up evenly with my side panel. Now when we close this, I can, kitty. These would be cute to send to your veterinarians. I like him. They're cute. I just don't know where I want to put my greeting. Those up off the table. Let's give it a little present. You know what? I'm going to do that on this other panel. I'm going to do this one just a little different. Candy cane. And I think I will add another star because I like those little stars off there. I'll get down here. Oops. What else do we have on here? Very merry. There's very merry. Very. Oh my goodness, I cannot see it. Oh, right there. Good grief. Could have put that there. No, I can't because now I got glue residue. And then I think we'll just add a couple more little presents on the bottom. Oh, there seems to be a thing going on here. They're all the green and yellow. So that's okay. That works. Ooh, where'd my dot go? Yeah, so thanks for hanging out here with me if you decided to stay while we finish these up. Let's see how, well, that's going to cover the whole thing up, so it doesn't matter. Okay. That's it. That is our sweet little Stockings zigzag card today. Alrighty. Yay. Everybody have a blessed Thanksgiving. Thanks for being with me today. Enjoy time with your family and your friends and give thanks to God for everything that we have. I will see you Wednesday for a Christmas card if I can get it together. And if not, I'll be here next Monday. So have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye.